Namaste. This is a request video on electrophiles and nucleophiles. Okay, before entering into the topic of electrophiles and nucleophiles, first we should know what is the type of bond that takes place in organic chemistry. Okay, so we all know that carbon is the backbone of organic chemistry. Okay, so the electronic configuration of carbon is 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. Okay, so this carbon is said to be in a stable state when it attains a noble gas configuration. So if it accepts 4 electrons, the configuration will be 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. Okay, so which is a configuration of neon, which is a noble gas. And if it donates 4 electrons, then the configuration will be 1s2. So which is the configuration of helium, which is also a noble gas. Okay, but it is not possible for the carbon to form either C4 plus or C4 minus. It means that it can't either transfer 4 electron or it can't accept 4 electron. It can't transfer 4 electrons or it can't accept 4 electrons. This is due to it requires large amount of energy. Okay, so now either transferring of electron or the acceptance of electron, it will give rise to ionic bond. But due to the requirement of large amount of energy, ionic bond is not formed in organic compound. Then what type of bond is formed? The covalent bond is formed in organic compounds. Okay, this is because the configuration of carbon is 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. If it either accept 4 electron or if it releases 4 electron, then it will attain the noble gas configuration. But it is impossible because it requires large amount of energy. Hence ionic bond is not formed. Therefore covalent bond is formed in organic compounds. Okay, so next is fission of covalent bond. So all organic molecules, it contain covalent bond. How covalent bond is formed? By mutual sharing of electron. Now this covalent bond, it can break in 2 different ways. Okay, so the first way is homolytic cleavage and next is heterolytic cleavage. So homolytic cleavage is known as symmetrical cleavage and heterolytic cleavage is known as unsymmetrical cleavage. So now what is homolytic cleavage? So homolytic cleavage, it is a process in which covalent bond breaks symmetrically in such a way that bonded atom retains 1 electron. Okay, for example, if this is a covalent bond between A and B, now we know that a bond is made up of 2 electrons. Okay, so now 1 electron, if this bond breaks, 1 electron will retain on A and other electron it will retain on B. Okay, and this is denoted by a half-headed arrow. So therefore this results in A dot plus B dot. Okay, now the electrons, they have splitted symmetrically. Both have only 1 electron and this is known as homolytic cleavage. Now what is heterolytic cleavage? If a bond is in between A and B, now any one of the atom, it takes 2 electrons. Okay, so we know that a bond is made up of 2 electrons. Now both the electrons will be taken away by 1 atom. Okay, so now if A takes 2 electrons, now this is denoted by a double-headed arrow. This is denoted by single-headed arrow. This is denoted by double-headed arrow. So if there is a double-headed arrow, it means that both the electrons are taken by this atom. So therefore it will form A minus plus B plus, because here A, it accepts electron and B donates electron. If it accepts the electron, then it becomes minus, and if it donates electron, it will become plus. Okay, so now this single electrons are known as free radicals. They are known as free radicals and these are known as ions. Now heterolytic cleavage is responsible for the formation of two ions. Okay, one is C plus and the other one is C minus. This C plus is known as carbonium ion or carbocation, and C minus is known as carbanion. Okay, and these two are formed based on the electronegativity of the atom. Okay, now we'll see how carbocation and carbanion is formed based on electronegativity. Okay, so this is based on electronegativity. Now I have taken tertiary butyl bromide. Okay, so tertiary CH3, CH3, CH3C, tertiary butyl, 4 carbons, so therefore butyl bromide. Okay, so now we all know that the halogens are more electronegative. Okay, they have the highest electronegativity. Now which is more electronegative? Br is more electronegative compared to carbon. Okay, so now this bond, it breaks. Okay, so how it breaks? Since it is highly electronegative, it has the tendency to accept the pair of electrons. So therefore Br minus, it accepts the pair of electron, and hence it will be cleaved as Br minus. Now what is remaining here? CH3, 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 and since it gives 2 electrons, the charge on this carbon will be plus. Okay, so therefore we will be getting a tertiary butyl cation. Okay, so therefore we got a carbonium ion here and Br minus. Okay, this is because Br minus is highly electronegative. If it is electronegative, it has highest electronegativity, it has the tendency to accept a pair of electron. So we know that a bond is made up of pair of electrons. So if it accepts pair of electron, it will convert it into Br minus. Hence this carbon will carry a positive charge, and therefore this is carbonium ion. Now the other example for carbanion formation is, I have taken acetaldehyde, CH3CHO. Okay, CH3CHO acetaldehyde. Now when it is treated in presence of a base, okay, so this OH minus ion will abstract this H plus to form H2O. Now the electronegativity difference between hydrogen and carbon is more electronegative, therefore it takes up the electron to form CH2 minus C double bond O bond H. So this is C minus. C minus means carbanion. Okay, this is how carbocation and carbanion is formed. It is based on electronegativity. If an atom which is combined to carbon is more electronegative, then carbocation is formed. If an atom which is linked to the carbon is less electronegative, then carbanion is formed. Okay, so if atom attached to carbon is more electronegative, then you will be getting carbocation. If atom attached to carbon is less electronegative, then you will be getting carbanion. This is how carbocation and carbanion is formed. Now what are nucleophiles and electrophiles? Okay, so the general representation of nucleophile is Nu minus and electrophile is E plus. Okay, so since it has a negative charge, since nucleophile has a negative charge, it will be having high affinity towards electropositive center. And since electrophile, it has a positive charge, it will be having high affinity towards electronegative center. Since this nucleophile, it has an unshared pair of electron, it will be in search of electropositive center. Whereas this electrophile, it has a positive charge, hence it will be in search of electronegative center. Hence the nucleophiles, again it can be of two types. One is the neutral molecule having lone pair, and the negatively charged nucleophiles. Negatively charged nucleophile. Okay, so nucleophile will be of two types. One is the neutral molecule which has a lone pair. Okay, since it has a lone pair, it will be electron rich in nature. And the other one is a negatively charged molecule. Same way, electrophiles can be also of two types. One is neutral electrophile and the other one is positively charged electrophile. So example of neutral molecule having unshared pair of electron is ammonia. So one of the example is ammonia. Okay, so here you can see that the configuration of nitrogen is 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. Now the valence electron is 5. Okay, so it has 5 valence electron. So in NH3, this nitrogen, it forms bond with 3 hydrogen atoms. Okay, so remaining is 2. So this 2, it remains as a lone pair on nitrogen. Hence this is a neutral molecule which having lone pair. This is one of the example. In the same way, RNH2. RNH2 is nothing but amines. Okay, so here instead of one hydrogen there will be R, an alkyl group. Here also it can form 3 bonds and there will be one lone pair since the valence electron is 5. Okay, so amine is another example. And next interesting example is water. So for oxygen the configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. Now the valence electron is 4. So it can form 2 bonds and there will be 2 lone pair. Okay, so here water is a neutral molecule but it has 2 lone pairs, hence it is a nucleophile. The same way alcohol, ROH. Okay, so here too it has 2 bond electron and therefore 2 lone pair. And then same thing if I go with ether. Okay, ROR here too. And next is hydrogen sulfide and thiols, H2S and RSH. Okay, so here too sulfur, its outermost configuration, it has 4 electrons. So since it forms 2 bonds with hydrogen, there will be 2 lone pair. And here too in thiols there will be 2 lone pairs. So these are the examples of neutral molecule having lone pair. And next is negatively charged molecule. Okay, so the negatively charged molecule can also act as nucleophile since it has a negative charge. For example, all the halides X minus. So here X can be fluorine, chlorine, bromine or iodine. So all the halides can be nucleophile, can act as nucleophile. And next is hydroxide ion OH minus, alkoxide OR minus, and then carboxylate RCOO minus, and then cyanide CN minus. So all these have negative charge, hence it can act as a nucleophile. And next is electrophile. So electrophiles, they are attracted towards a negative charge or electron rich center which has electron rich center. So this can also be of 2 types. One is neutral, the other one is positively charged. Okay, so now if I go for neutral, it can be CO2. Okay, this is because here oxygen is highly electronegative. Okay, so this is the structure of carbon dioxide. Here both the oxygen are highly electronegative, hence it can withdraw the electron towards itself, leaving this center positive, carbon center positive. Hence since it has some partial positive charge, it can act as electrophile. And the other example is AlCl3, aluminium chloride. Okay, so all the Lewis acids like aluminium chloride, BF3, boron trifluoride, and ferric chloride, FeCl3. These all will act as an electrophile. And next is positively charged electrophiles. Okay, for example H plus, and then carbocations R plus, and then alkyl halides Rx, and then H3O plus, NO plus and NO2 plus. Okay, all these have positive charge, hence it can act as an electrophile. So that's it about nucleophiles and electrophiles. Here you should remember the general term. If you remember this general term, then you can easily identify which is your nucleophile and which is your electrophile.